So Ezra Miller has decided to plead not guilty to felony burglary charges. And now it has to go through a whole trial where he faces up to 26 years in a Vermont prison if convicted. Plus about, I think it was $2,000, maybe $20,000 in damages. But all that's still up in the air. Courts, courts, and let's just say if it goes into a jury trial, jurors are finicky. But let's get into it, shall we? The Flash star Ezra Miller pleaded not guilty to felony burglary charges this morning in Vermont. Not feeling great today. Allowed to appear remotely early Monday for the session in the criminal division of Green Mountain State Superior Court, Miller was told to stay away from the neighbors whose home he entered earlier this year. Yeah, that's what this is for, because he barged into a home, stole some alcohol, and that's what he's getting convicted for, not the choking of a woman, not the assault, the repeated assaults, not the kidnapping, not the grooming, not any of that. No, it's because he went into somebody's house and stole alcohol, which, mind you, is awful, but there's a whole lot more on this dude's plate. Along with neighbor Isaac Winokur, Miller was also prohibited from interacting with another Vermont resident, Aidan Early, as conditions of their release. Miller faces a maximum of 26 years behind bars, as well as over $2,000 in fines if found guilty of the charges stemming from the spring incident, which entailed stealing 3 bottles of liquor, gin, vodka, and rum from Winnick's pantry. In a jovial and chipper mood on Monday morning, the casually dressed actor will have to return to court per Superior Court Judge Carrie A. McDonald Katie, God, get a shorter name, virtually or in person at any determined future date for more proceedings in this matter. Ezra would like to acknowledge, I don't want to talk about all what he would like to acknowledge, because he ends up saying, where is it? Basically that, I've been going through a mental health spat. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm getting better, and my family and loved ones are here with me to help make sure that I get better, but that's just, I don't believe you. You're doing that because Warner Brothers told you. Ezra Miller acknowledged the love of sport, yeah. Who continue to be a vital process on the ongoing mental health. I get it, okay? You do have mental health issues. But you also have to pay for the crimes you have committed. Granted, there's a court process to go through, but this is essentially judgment time. With more than a few pennies potentially on the line for Warner Brothers Pictures and the studio's long-awaited $200 million budgeted The Flash flick out next year, which potentially is going to fail because people are ticked off at Ezra Miller. Miller agreed to 5 overall conditions, the most pressing being the actor can't have contact with Isaac. Yeah, we already heard about that. Agreed to the conditions. In response to these conditions, Miller told the judge, "I do understand." In an early August release, now by all accounts scrubbed from the Vermont State Police website, the cops said, as a result of an investigation that included surveillance videos and statements, probable cause was found to charge Ezra Miller with offense of felony burglary, including an unoccupied dwelling, burglary into an unoccupied dwelling. I cannot speak. Claiming they were in the house that wasn't theirs to look for ingredients for a recipe for their mother. The actor also was hit with a misdemeanor charge of petty larceny over a trio of stolen booze bottles. Now, just over 2 months later, Miller said they were... Stop it! suffering complex mental health issues, and have been going ongoing treatment. It doesn't matter. Okay, you still did these crimes. You still potentially did these crimes. You still have to potentially pay for them. You don't just... those aren't magic words in the criminal system. Well, they are for some people, and it's wrong. Sorry, I dropped something. While not completely erasing the near crash and burn of the last year for Miller, doesn't actually erase it at all. Nor their second-degree assault arrest in Hawaii in April, today's outcome continues to prolong agita, I don't know what that word means, for David Zaslav for the David Zaslav run Warner Bros. Discovery, as it looks to lock in on a long-term plan to reset and effectively monetize the DC properties, with a flash, a gleaming jewel in the crown, lacking much wiggle room with a film that features Miller in almost every shot. The months of behind-the-scenes efforts by corporate bigwigs, Miller's agency CAA, family and friends have tried to get the actor the help they've needed. Yeah, you need help, but you also need to pay for the crimes you've committed. That's how this happens. In order to see what punishment needs to be dealt, you go through a process. If you're guilty, you get punished. If you're not, go on. That's what this is. And just because you have mental health issues does not mitigate that. Granted, we probably do need better mental health stuff here in America, but that's a discussion for another time. Certainly the dust-ups, full-on assaults, and other questionable actions from the Aloha state to Vermont to Iceland to Germany, and more by seemingly frayed and spirally Miller had put WB on the back foot, and a human on PR nightmare, with their treatment programmer continuing, and some LA set flash reshoots under their belt in the past few weeks. Miller also had successful sit-down earlier this fall with Warner Bros. Motion Pictures chair Michael De Luca and Pamela Abadi to apologize for all the legal and media spotlight their behavior has caused. Still as basically finished, The Flash lurches towards a late June 23rd release date. Isaiah Ray uttered publicly what many have said OTR about how Miller and Hollywood actions should have long escaped the bounds of tolerable. And that's true, because I like to pull this one up and I need to bookmark it. The Vulture has a wonderful, very, very wonderful list of everything Miller has ever done, everything Miller has been convicted of, his whole life's, well, not convicted, but charged with, accused of. All this is right here on the Vulture's page. And it is insane. Naming names, creator Ray, rap shit, I guess. Creator Ray recently told Elle magazine, the stuff that's happening with Ezra Miller is, to me, a microcosm of Hollywood. Yes. There's this person who's a repeat offender, who's been behaving atrociously, and as opposed to shutting them down and shutting the production down, there's an effort to save the movie and them. That is clear example of the lengths that Hollywood will go to save itself and to protect offenders. So don't do that, and women may be able to thrive. And women may be able... I don't know what that means. They won't have to live in fear of keeping silent because it'll ruin their careers. It's just a constant okay, this is starting to go down a road that I don't like. But anyways, it comes down here. With Miller in mind, Ray went on to say of Tinseltown, it's literally the worst industry when it comes to punishing people for misdeeds and actions, because money will always reign supreme, which is a avid sort of conspiracy theory. Not gonna go full throttle, but let's be real. A lot of these people behind in Hollywood do unspeakable things and get away with it. if we don't, just come up to this one, wonderful Kevin Spacey, things that have happened to his accusers. oh, it's not like there's other guys as well that, Tom Hanks. Anyways, even though the viral video of Miller apparently choking a female patron of a I'm not even going to try to say that, bar in the spring never led to either an arrest or charges, the actor was hauled in twice in Hawaii during the past 12 months. In addition to the Hawaii and Vermont charges, 30-year-old Miller also has faced allegations of sexual abuse. There was also the matter of the temporary harassment prevention order that they were subject to early this year from a 12-year-old and a mother in Greenfield, Michigan, I think. Whatever MA is. After they claimed the actor menaced them. That's right, there's sexual assault allegations. There's allegations from the LGBT people purposely not using somebody's pronouns, even though I don't really care about that, but doing it on purpose because he was mad. I don't care what his pronouns is. I'm still calling him a him. He, him. Perhaps most damningly, the parents of now 18-year-old Tokata Iron Ice filed for a protection order against Miller in June. That's right. All laid out right here in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful article from the Vulture. I don't even know who the Vulture is. But you have the Tokata Iron Ice situation, which is, for lack of a better term, nobody in that situation is clean, not even the parents. But it looks like she was basically pimped out to Ezra. He then did his stuff grooming her, and now he is a she, I believe. I could be getting that wrong. Screw this pronoun stuff. I don't remember whose pronouns are whose anymore. Anyways, but now Takata's been held from the parents, constantly getting moved around, hasn't even met I don't think has been reunited with parents yet. This is a nightmare day in and day out. But with that, guys, if you like the video, well, first off, let's just be real. Ezra Miller potentially should face those 26 years. Let's just be real. He's an awful, awful individual, and I do feel sorry for him because obviously he's been passed around Hollywood a time or two, or three, or four, or five. And a lot of high up producers absolutely know what they're going to get with Ezra. But with that, guys, if you like the video, please click that like button, share it out with your friends, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for every time I go live, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.